You purchased a 22 million dirham property in Dubai. What made you take that decision into Wadi Villas?
Arista is not just developing in any community. It's a masterpiece. They really paid attention to every little thing. They thought about tranquility, landscaping from Bukris Hill. Makes you feel like you're in Thailand or Bali. This is like a sanctuary. Why would we even want to go out of Wadi Villa?
There are people who don't have access to rich people. What should they do?
You always have to start somewhere. Don't say, oh, I don't know any high net worth people. I don't get invited. That means I'm not going to be able to tap into that luxury segment of real estate. No, do something about it. I don't think that social media is going to bring any high net worth buyers whatsoever. I have never had somebody contacting me through social media who said, I want to buy a 90 million villa from you. The investors, I always urge them to not invest in non-exclusive projects.
Why?
When you're investing in luxury, your ratio and your percentage of the return on investment is higher. You're not having so much competition.
Data shows that only one transaction out of 3 involves a women in Dubai. Compared to other countries, women are more empowered here. We are more educated, more liberal, are more independent. What you think can make a woman make better decisions when they're buying a house?
I really advise women to use the calculator more. Even when I try to convince my husband to invest into a property, I always use the calculator. I also would like to advise all women, while you focus on your career, don't forget about family. You can't just say, oh, I can only have a family or a business. No, you can have a balance of both.
Only 30% of the property owners in Dubai are women. And yet, sitting across me today is a woman who not only sells luxury real estate, she owns it. Not just any property, but a 22 million dirham villa in one of Dubai's most exclusive communities. She's a CEO, a top performing broker, and an investor, a self-made force in a space traditionally dominated by men. Thank you for coming here today, Samiha.
Thank you so much for having me here today. It's really a privilege to be again at Arista.
You started with your job in motorsports, and
Correct.
then you also worked with luxury yacht, and you ended up in real estate. I would like to know more about that. How and why you chose real estate?
Having a very nice network from motorsport and from luxury yachting, from socializing and networking with a lot of clients, partners, and sponsors, and so on, really increased my network. And as they say, your network is your net worth. I wanted to make it useful and productive. So that's when I decided to start calling my connections, my friends, people I know, see if I can try to sell them some investment here in Dubai. I went into a company just to learn the basics. And my first deal was a 17.6 million deal in the first week.
Wow.
It happens to be a friend of mine from Miami who she was considering moving to Dubai because of many reasons, for her kids' schooling, for the future, for the economy growth.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody is drawn to Dubai at the moment. And that's how I closed the first deal. But that particular deal really gave me the encouragement that I can really do this.
You can do this.
And I really dived in deep. And after that, it was just snowballed.
And you never stopped.
Never
You
stopped. It
looked
was
back.
snowballed after that. Yes, exactly. And it happened to be that I started in June 2023. The third quarter, I was the top performer. The fourth quarter, I was top performer. That led me to be the third top performer of the full year, even though I was there for only 6 months. And then after that, I decided to branch out and to do it by myself and opening Vanguard Premier Property and take it from there to a higher scale.
As you mentioned that you became a top broker in 6 months. What made you stand out?
Honestly, I didn't even used to show up much in the office.
Really?
No. People were surprised that they hear me closing deals, but I'm not even there.
Wow. So was it all over the phone, like
it
in
was-
your network?
it
Your
was all
network
over-
game is strong.
Exactly. It was all reaching out to my network a lot. I'm a people person. I have integrity in my business. I try to be as genuine as possible. I'm not someone who just want to sell you something just to sell you something.
Yeah.
Because for us, selling a home is not just a transaction. For us, it's passion. That's why our clients keep coming back to us. Because we don't want to feel like we're just selling you a house. We want to feel like we're creating a legacy, creating portfolios. There's a lot of my clients, they started becoming real estate investors with me. And they're very proud of what they're doing. It's a new business for them. Some of them, they're doing it for their kids. That's why I said we create legacies. I have a very top client from America. He's really investing heavily here because he wants to leave this for his kids.
Talking about investment, you purchased a 22 million dirham property in Dubai. I want to know that what made you choose Wadi Villas? What made you take that decision that I would like to invest such a heavy amount into Wadi Villas with Arista as an investor and also as a broker?
I have been an investor for quite some time. And I can tell you it is the best decision I've ever made as an investor. I'm really proud of this decision. And the reason why I chose Arista and Wadi Villa, number one is the location, because as a mentor told me, always invest in the next big thing. And District 11 is definitely the next big thing. It is going to be the address of Dubai, because look how exclusive it is.
There's nothing like
it. On the other hand, it was also the high quality that they're delivering, but still it was under market price. I understand that Arista, they try to build a name for themselves as a new developer here in Dubai. So we really took opportunity of that. I seized the moment and I really hopped in on the investment right away. I did the same thing for my clients. I brought this opportunity to them. They trust me, of course. So we went in full on with it. Me personally, I already invested in 3 different villas there.
Wow.
That's the majority of my portfolio at the moment is in Wadi Villa. 3 villas, yes, correct. So my portfolio with Arista alone is around 60 million almost now.
60 million dirhams.
Around 60 million, yes.
It's such a huge investment. Not everybody can make it. It's not an easy decision.
The first thing is that Arista is not just developing any community. It's a masterpiece that they has created, actually. They really paid attention to every little thing. They thought about tranquility. They thought about landscaping from Cooper's Hill, that it makes you feel like you're in Thailand or Bali. They thought about this really nice, stunning running river behind our home, where we can walk and sit on the bench and listen to the running water. And going back to the landscape, of course, when you have such a tropical landscape like that, you're going to have a lot of fresh air. You're going to hear the birds singing. And this is why we chose this location, because it's away from all the busy lifestyle of Dubai, the pollution or the traffic, all of that kind of stuff. This is a sanctuary, literally. Honestly, this particular home, it inspires us to change our lifestyle.
A healthier lifestyle.
Absolutely. This is the beauty of designing a home with a very functionable floor plan, which is a big lack in the market at the moment. Here in Wadi Villas, we have so many living areas that you can do so many things with. My husband would like to have a pool table. Where would you put it? Here we have an amazing spot between the living area and the dining area, facing the pool, facing this really nice water feature in the middle of the house with the running water. It's so serene. We want to have a home gym. Where are we going to have a home gym in other developers? We can't. Here we have a whole full floor on the top where you have a lot of space. We're going to have a home gym there. So this is why we loved Wadi Villa, because of the lifestyle of it.
We have seen that 62% of the women prioritize family living while choosing a property, and the rest choose or buy a property for investment purpose. As an investor who has invested so much in Wadi Villas in Dubai, what is your perspective on buying a villa of this much value as a realtor, as a woman?
As a woman choosing Arista development, for example, for our family, we think about a lot of things. We think about the safety. We think about what the kid's going to do, for example, where your husband going to hang out with his friends. What are we going to do as a couple? So there is a lot of things. Like even me and my husband, we really dream and talk a lot about our home in Wadi Villa. We think about us swimming with the kids in the pool. We think about one morning we'll tell the kids after breakfast, hey, take your towels. We're going to for a morning swim in a lagoon, which is just walking distance. It's not even a minute. And just creating these memories and thinking about it, it's really the top priority for us as women, because we want to have a happy family. We want to have things to do with our family. We don't want to be a boring family, not having amenities. We have a 5-star clubhouse in the community. We have 24-hour concierge. We are literally spoiled in Arista. I feel like they have not left any stone unturned, and they thought about every little thing to make the end user very comfortable.
As a woman, you tend to think about family, but that's a decision-making factor, right? As a woman, you're thinking that, okay, let's buy a house which has all these amenities, which is taking care of me, my family, my husband, my kids. As an investor, as a women investor, because these are two different things, correct? Sure. You might be taking the decision alongside your husband or your family that let's choose a home which has these amenities. Another level, you're purchasing a property investment about your returns. Because I've seen the data shows that only 1 transaction out of 3 involves a woman in Dubai. Compared to other countries, women are more empowered here. We are more educated, more liberal.
Yes.
And are looking to form their own families, are more independent. What you think can make a woman make better decisions when they're buying a house?
I really, really advise women to use the calculator more. You have no idea how many times a day I use a calculator. Even when I try to convince my husband to invest into a property, I always use the calculator. Wow. Like, babe, look at this. This is how much we can invest. This is how much we can get. because the market price is this much now, and in a few months from now, and a
Very
year
smart.
from now, it will be this much. And I always give him the worst case scenario, it always with a nice profit.
And how about choosing the developer?
For me at the moment, for myself and for my clients, whether they're end users or investors, but specifically investors, I always urge them to not invest in non-exclusive projects and not luxury projects. Because I believe when you're investing in luxury, your ratio and your percentage of the return on investment is higher, of course. Also, when you invest in exclusivity, when you're at handover and you're ready to flip your property, you're not having so much competition of 200 units for sale.
True.
So you might end up with only 3 or 4.
So exclusivity matters.
Absolutely.
So when you're purchasing a luxury property, you should look for those exclusive elements. But that could be not just the units, that could also be the partners, right?
Absolutely.
So you have partnered with someone, like as Arista, we have partnered with HBA in Coopersville. I'm sure that must have been...
It was the cherry on the top, actually.
And were you aware about HBA?
HBA, I know about it from my mentor, who's a big investor, as I mentioned, in real estate worldwide. And when I told him I looked at this villa, I actually brought him here before we signed. I showed him Wadi Villas, and when we found out that it's HBA, he said, Samiha, you have to sign. HBA, they don't do any residentials whatsoever. I don't know how Arista convinced him or persuaded them to do a project that is residential. They're visionaries behind the most iconic hotels in the world. The one and only Zabil, the newest Marsa Al Arab Jumeirah Hotel.
Yeah.
And a property and a villa that is designed by the same company who did Marsa Al Arab. I'm so privileged.
Yeah, that gives you a sense of pride.
I'm so proud.
Yeah.
Absolutely. To say my house is designed by HBA, it's really, really an honor.
Wow. I think you're always selling. That's what makes you like the top salesperson. You were a top selling agent within 6 months.
Yes,
when you started.
Absolutely.
So I want to know more about that. How that journey started, and what are the key things you would tell anyone to follow to become a successful real estate agent?
So when I started with that agency, I had a lot of agents that come to me when I started becoming the top salesperson of every month. Can you please advise us? How do you do it? How do you do it? And I always just say, network and socialize. This business really needs that so badly. Every handshake is an opportunity. Go introduce yourself. Talk about your business. Because if you don't promote your business yourself, who would? Always speak about what you do. Speak about numbers. Speak about exclusive projects. Don't follow the flow. Always stand out. Try to do something different than everybody else. Please network and socialize. That's number one. Study the market. Numbers is a key. Hold the calculator in your hand and keep going. Don't get discouraged, because a lot of people, they try to go for a month or two not selling anything, and then they get discouraged and they leave. No. Just keep going.
There are people who don't have access to rich people. What should they do to build a strong network?
They need to start. I also, at one point, I did not have access to this high net worth individuals. They have to dig in. They have to find the opportunities. They have to go to events. They have to even go have a coffee in one of these fancy hotels. You have someone sitting next to you. You start a conversation. You have no clue how many people I met just because I met them at a coffee shop somewhere. And really? I started the conversation with them.
So you know how to break the ice.
Absolutely. You have to learn that tech tea. You have to train yourself. You have to be coachable. You have to look at YouTube videos, how to approach people, how to sell yourself, how to have that first impression that count. You always have to start somewhere. Don't say, I don't know any high net worth people. I don't get invited. That means I'm not going to be able to tap into that luxury segment of real estate. No, do something about it. Also advise everybody to have a high mindset, like a very positive mindset. They also say most of the successful people, they believed in themselves, sometimes to the point of hallucinating. Just be that kind of person. Say, yes, I can make it. I can be the one who's selling luxury properties. I can be the one who socialize with high net worth people. Just have that mindset. Just work on it as well and start at some point. Don't wait for the opportunity to come. Go after it. I also would like to advise people to not have a negative mindset. You have to have a positive mindset if you want to reach something. So don't be like, I don't get invited to events where there's high net worth people. I don't get invited to luxury places. It doesn't matter. Just dig in there. Try to find a spot where you can sneak in. Try to talk to someone in a coffee shop next to you in a very luxury hotel. It's all about the mindset. Just believe in yourself. Like they say, some of the most successful people in the world, they believed in themselves and to the level of hallucinating.
So like be delusional.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I started, I always thought, I'm going to be a millionaire. It's manifesting as well. I'm a big believer in manifesting. And when you speak it into existence, it happens.
Just
keep
believe you're
pushing.
going to sell.
Absolutely.
Talking about luxury mindset or a positive mindset, what's the mindset of a buyer? Since you've connected with so many, you network with so many high net worth individuals. How do they approach a real estate agent when they are buying a luxury property? Because I've seen so many real estate agents who are just chasing, who are just calling you every day. They're making reels. They're all over the internet. They're saying, buy a 50 million dirham luxury property. This is an exclusive community which we have developed. Is this the right way to connect to a high net worth individual?
As you can see in my social media, I barely have like 500
Yeah,
followers.
I noticed you're just like, I think you started it with
I started
even
a
lesser.
new page. Yes, that's true. I don't think that social media is going to bring anybody any high net worth buyers whatsoever. I have never had somebody contacting me through social media who said, I want to buy a 90 million villa from you. The reason why I am active in social media is just to reconnect with my old network or my existing network. I have a friend who connected with me from Germany saying, oh, by the way, I see you're doing well in real estate. I just sold my house for 1.7 million euro. Me and my wife would like to move to Dubai. Can you please find us something? Another one. Hi, Samiha. How are you? Remember, I used to go to school with you. I'm in Canada right now. Me and my husband want to invest 300,000 euro. Can you please help us? Another friend of mine as well in Austria. My cousin, her and her boyfriend, they came to Dubai a couple months ago and they were advised to invest in this place. I said, no. This is a really bad place. Please tell them to abort mission. Let me speak to them. I spoke to them, got their budget, got them something within a week.
So do you believe that having a presence on social media as a real estate agent is important?
It's good to just be connected with people that you know. You can get a bit of acknowledgement, a bit of representation for yourself. Nobody in their right mind who's a billionaire or millionaire will come to someone in Instagram and be like, hi, can you please sell me a property? They will search for reputable companies that will take care of their investment with a lot of precision and care. They're not going to just go to anybody who's doing 1,000 real a day, sometimes with even, sorry to say, stupid stories that are irrelevant to real estate whatsoever.
What is more important? Is it what you have in hand? Because it's always a supply-demand gap, right? So do you ask him beforehand that, hey, what are you looking for? Or do you go back to them and say that I have these 3 wonderful projects for investment? Which one would you like to choose?
Well, first, I like to know if they are an end user or if they are investors. If they're end user, then you have to really listen to your client. Because when they see that you care,
so listening to your client and you care for your client, you show that you care for your client is very important.
Yeah, because you need to really listen of what their need and wants, what they're really looking for, because they're end users, they need to be happy. And when it comes to an investor, of course, the first thing I think about is what's your budget? And the second thing, when would you like to exit this portfolio? He needs to give me a time frame. This way I can decide which projects that I will be able to propose. I always gave a package A, package B, and package C. I always give the reasons why to invest in this one. What's the profit looking like? Again, the calculator comes out.
Always calculator.
Always calculator.
Sure.
And then we choose together what's wise for this particular client.
What qualities a real estate broker should have while pitching to a high net worth individual?
To stand out for an investor or high net worth individual, please just know your numbers. Know the project very well, the data behind it, the forecast, all of these kind of things. It will make you come up with a very good presentation to your client. Bring out some examples of some numbers you've done in the past of successful portfolios. Also have integrity in your business. Don't lie to your client. Who had an agent who tried to sell him a property where there is non-stop flights over that property. And the client has no way of finding out because he's overseas. And the developer was lying to the client, tell him, oh, behind this townhouse, it will be a big park. And I'm like, no, don't lie to my clients. Behind the townhouse is literally the big, busiest road. So please don't lie to my clients.
So that's how you gain trust.
Yes,
because you're
absolutely.
telling them the truth.
Yeah. And when the lady left from the room, I told him, I really apologize. I know she was lying about some things, but that's what my job here for, to protect you, to help you make the right decisions. And he said, should we leave? I said, absolutely, let's leave.
So if I were to summarize it, the top 3 qualities as we were discussing.
The top quality should be knowing your data. Number speaks for itself. Have integrity with your client and just keep pushing.
Dubai is a very saturated market.
Yes,
it's full of
lots
real
of
estate agents selling luxury real estate properties. Nobody is selling a non-luxury real estate property in Dubai. So as a real estate agent, what makes you stand out? while selling a luxury real estate property in Dubai?
When I present myself to people or when they ask me, what do you do for a living? I never say I do real estate. This is the wrong way of even presenting yourself. I always say I do exclusive investment. And just that word exclusive, it gets people a bit intrigued. They're like, exclusive. That means she has access to something we don't have access to. Oh, we should get to know her. Maybe she will give us that glimpse. She will give us a peek of what she does. Maybe we can take an opportunity with her. And this is how it starts the conversation.
What other things you should do or the qualities which you should exhibit while selling a real estate to distinguish yourself in the market?
Believe in yourself. Have some confidence when you're talking about your business. You need to really market your business, not in a pushy way. Just give the information and leave the client that way, specifically if they're not actually a client, maybe a potential client. I don't want you to be introducing yourself to people and they're thinking, oh, she's just trying to sell me something. No, just introduce yourself. This is what I do for a living, and you leave it that way.
So, we say luxury is very subtle. So the way you present it and also the way you sell it.
Absolutely.
Correct?
But also it does help me that I am an investor myself. So I do speak to them about what I do as an investor as well.
So you present yourself as an investor.
Yes.
And hence you have the knowledge, you have that experience, you have done it yourself.
Exactly.
And that's where you get the confidence of selling a luxury real estate property.
Absolutely.
In a market like Dubai.
Absolutely.
Amazing. As a real estate broker, you should not mention that you're selling luxury real estate. You should mention that you sell exclusive properties, exclusive real estate. Was it the same experience while selling Wadi Villas?
When we talk about exclusivity in real estate, it has a lot of factors that plays. A number of units. For example, Arista, Wadi Villas, there are only 30 units. Where would you live in a very high-end community that will offer only 30 units? Also, when it comes to the amenities, when you have only 30 villas, you don't find a community that has a 5-star clubhouse. That's a big investment for only 30 villas. You don't have a 24-hour concierge service that really gives you that legacy and that prestige and that pinnacle of luxury. You don't find this anywhere. Nobody's offering what Arista is offering at the moment. And that's what keeps it exclusive. And that's what keeps it very high-end luxury product at the moment in the market.
And is it right to say that it also means better quality because it's lesser units, lesser people, which means a better delivery of quality?
Absolutely.
I have these amenities only for myself or a limited number of people. I'm not offering it or for 300 people.
And that is absolutely
it right to say so?
That's absolutely correct. I will also mention when it comes to the interior design, the kitchens are by a very reputable high-end kitchen supply company from Italy. They're not going to let contractors here install them. They're going to fly a team from Italy to install your kitchen. This way they will final product and finishing. This is extreme. Nobody does that.
So do you believe that high net worth individuals are always looking for these exclusive communities for themselves, or they are looking for these exclusive communities for investment?
I think it's both. Like, for example, me, I'm an end user. Of course, I looked for these amenities and these high quality and finishes for our family. But also as an investor, I had to look for this because it makes it easier for me to sell later. Because if you have the best of the best, you can also bank on it. You can also name your price. The value of the property increased drastically compared to any other one there's thousands of units built. So of course, we like to focus on exclusivity because you can take advantage of that.
As a CEO of Vanguard Properties, do you believe there are enough exclusive luxury developments in the region?
I'm actually happy that there is not enough boutique developers because that's what keeps it exclusive, no?
Exclusive.
So let's not have a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that District 11 has only few boutique developers that are like creating this beautiful D address that there is nothing like it in any neighborhood or any community in Dubai. So let's keep it that way.
And what are the regions, what are the other areas in Dubai are known for the exclusive communities or exclusive developments?
At the moment, I don't see anyone for this kind of caliber because you only have boutique villas around this lagoon that they have 30 villas, 17 villas, 40 villas. But I don't see any other community luxury to this high-end level that has only few units as District 11 concept.
But as you said that it's a new concept, do you believe that there is a supply-demand gap or there isn't enough demand? That's the reason there was no supply of it. What do you think?
Let's not forget that Dubai is attracting a lot of millionaires and a lot of billionaires at the moment. A demand for this really boutique, high-end, exclusive development, it's really going into rise. So we have to have more of those for sure, but to an extent where it's not going to be saturated.
So Samiha, as you've bought a villa with Arista, how do you imagine waking up in your new villa at Wadi Villas?
Actually, we talk about this a lot, me and my husband, actually. We really imagine ourselves there a lot. We're not going to keep going to restaurants anymore. We're just going to have people over all the time. Look at this house. Look at this home. Look how it feels. Look at the landscape. Look at the birds singing and water features everywhere. This is like a sanctuary. Why would we even want to go out of Wadi Villa?
After a busy day, especially.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We really want to cocoon in our home after we get delivery of it. I assure you, we will be spending a lot of time there.
So a home that truly feels like home.
Absolutely, because they really thought about everything.
You just described the perfect home. Any woman who's listening to this is probably thinking, how can I buy a home like this?
I would say work hard, be persistent. Don't count on someone to provide you what you want. Don't count on daddy money, or build yourself, be independent. Don't start a business and then feel discouraged and close it and open something else. Give yourself the time to know what you really want to do. Some people, they just keep shooting in the dark and just trying to see if one of them will stick or one of the businesses will succeed. This is not how it is. If you're not sure, wait, listen to yourself. Give yourself the opportunity to understand what you want out of this life. So do calculated moves. Don't just be random, because you're wasting your time. Although we do learn from our mistakes, which is not a bad thing at all. I always say I rather regret the things I've done than regretting the things I haven't done. I'm one of the people who try everything as well. But everything so far that I tried, I really committed to give it all and learn everything about it and really excel at it. That's why I've done really well in motorsport. That's why I've done really well in luxury yachting. That's why I did really well in real estate investment, or even in brokerage in real estate. When I pick something, I'm really committed to it. I'm really dedicating myself to it. I also would like to advise all women, while you're focusing on your career, don't forget about family. You can always have a balance. You can't just say, oh, I can only have a family or a business. No, you can have a balance of both. There's so many women who did it. Just balance your life, be organized, be persistent, keep pushing. Don't get discouraged, and everything will happen for you. Just believe in yourself.
That was such a powerful conversation, Samiha. Thank you so much for being here today. And for our listeners, especially women out here, whether it's your first home or your first investment, Dubai's market is ready for you. I'm Shrishti, and this is Beyond Luxury by Arista Properties. See you until next time.